Warning. The following podcast contains adult themes, including, but not limited to, adult language, adult dragon animorphs, problematic encounters with potential love interests, steampunk vampires, potentially unhealthy relationships, goblin kings, and hosts that read way too far into silly romance novels. The opinions expressed in this podcast are entirely those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised.
From the inside out so I can see myself from the inside.
Hello and welcome to Textual Tension, a love-hate relationship with romance novels. I am your co-host Margie.
And I'm your co-host Rachel.
So every other week, one of us, this week it's me, Margie, is going to summarize a romance novel for our other unsuspecting co-host. This week it's Rachel.
Yay.
I was about to say Margie.
Nope. Tell it to yourself. I'm out. Fuck this. Wait, no.
It'll be a very lonely podcast.
It'll be very sad.
So,
okay, guys, we've been chatting this up to each other for a while, and it's
teasing each
great.
other.
Yeah.
This has gotta be like one of the worst / best novels that I've read so far.
Is it worse than Valerian?
In a different way. Because
Okay,
thankfully,
all right.
thankfully this novel, so I'll go ahead and put this out there. This novel does not have like much, if any, sexual assault, which is great.
Oh, great.
I'm
Fantastic.
so on board for that. But everything else is terrible.
Wonderful.
Every last thing.
Awesome.
So, Rachel.
I'm so
Are
ready
you
for
ready?
this.
So how we're going to start this is I'm going to pass the book / computer that I have over to Rachel, and she's going to read the title and look at the cover.
And I'm not going to take a drink of my tea because
And
I
she
don't want to
has-
spew it everywhere.
And she has not seen this before.
Nope.
Okay, you ready? Please don't drop my computer.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's upside down.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
I'm not looking at it until I flip
You gotta get it right, yeah.
Okay. So, this is not my type. It's a dude without a shirt.
Well, he doesn't have, what, battle-chiseled muscles?
Well, he's, so you know how when a dude who's a little bit overweight has, like, man boobs? He has, like, the muscular equivalent of man boobs, because he's, like...
Yeah, he's like Vin Diesel.
He's arched in such a way that his abs, like, go inside of him, and so his boobs are, like, overhanging over his abs. I don't understand this.
His pecs are bigger than his abs.
I will say, body rocking. Face...
His face is like his expression is very strange. He looks kind of bored.
Looks like he's trying so hard not to fart.
He looks in particular like a baby that's like
yeah, it's
about
not
to...
not great. Yeah. That's exactly a baby that's about to poop.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, no, it's not great.
You haven't said the title yet.
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Okay.
The title of this book is How to Tame a Beast in 7 Days. Okay, it's the first in a new series. The book has very helpfully told us that. The author's name is Bigger, and also her last name happens to be Sparks, and it's bigger than her first name. I'm assuming so that she thinks people might pick it up thinking it's, who is it?
Nicholas Sparks.
Nicholas Sparks.
Oh,
but it's
wow.
by Carolyn Sparks.
Well,
That's a lot of R's in Carolyn.
And Carolyn is spelled so special snowflake.
Oh, very special snowflake. Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, and there's lightning behind him, too. And snow? I think snow.
Maybe.
So it's
I have
lightning
no
snow.
idea. Like,
great.
Well, that comes in.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna read the description of this. Y'all, my type involves a lot of muscles and a beard and long hair, and this is not it. All right, I like the lumberjack vibe. Okay, summary. Luciana grew up on the Isle of Moon, hidden away because of her magical powers. But when her father arrives, he offers her a choice. Remain on the island or return with him and marry the Beast of Benwick in order to save their legacy and her father's life. Yeah, I'll stay, thanks. End of book. Sorry. Lord... Leofric?
Yes.
Leah Heck. No, Lord Leofric.
Leofric Frack the Paddywhack.
Oh my god, the Beast of Benwick has not been touched since he was a child. That's awkward. That is a very
And
unfortunate phrasing.
Also a complete lie.
Okay.
A complete lie.
Also just a really unfortunate phrasing. Born with the power to harness lightning, explains the lightning, he is a danger to everyone he touches. When he meets his betrothed, he expects a loveless, lonely marriage until he discovers she's vastly more powerful than he realized. But is she strong enough to withstand his touch? If they can survive, their love will alter the future of the kingdom, but will their extraordinary powers cost them everything? Boy, I don't know, but I want to find out.
You ready? You ready for this?
I'm
You
not.
ready? So, like, just the name. I mean, I was reading, so I found this book in the library, and I just saw How to Tame a Beast in 7 Days, and I was like, oh, this is happening.
Oh, no.
I think the second one is called, what's it called? So I Married a Sorcerer. Yeah.
Okay, so another disclaimer, in addition to my type, I don't like rom-coms. Movies. Books, fine. I don't like rom-coms. I have seen How to
Tame Your Dragon?
No, How to Get a Guy in 7 Days or whatever.
Oh,
How
I
to-
have not seen that.
That one, whatever that one is. I've seen that one.
Right.
I don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
Feelings are hard
I
right
think-
now. Go for it.
Okay, so,
Rip the Band-Aid off.
okay. But before I
right,
start
right,
the
right.
summary.
Right.
Well, there's no, like I said, there's not really
None?
any bad stuff. Yeah, there really isn't.
Wow.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
if for some reason we do run into something, we will mention it.
Yes.
But I'm amazed.
I know. That's like the only good thing happening for this book.
Neat.
So we don't have to go into any of the bad bits, but we are gonna play Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes. Oh.
Yes. So there are 2 plot points that like aren't integral to me explaining the plot, but we only have time for one. So you have to choose which one
Okay.
you want me to explain.
Great.
Do you?
Oh, wait. Okay, that sets the mood.
Do you want to hear about the man who can transform into any animal, but he can only be a man for 2 hours out of the day?
Okay, it sounds like a D&D character.
Or the male delivering seals? You have to choose one.
How is male spelled in the second one?
M-A-I-L.
Okay, that makes it less good.
Oh yeah, that would have been so
That would have been
great.
way better. Oh. Jesus. Oh no. Oh no.
And also in the show notes, I will be explaining both of them.
Okay, good.
So
good,
like
good.
you're just gonna have to suffer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I got it. The seals.
Okay.
It has to be seals.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm interested in the man, but
They are a little bit intertwined, so I will like kind of put
Okay,
like
cool,
a
cool,
powder
cool.
sugar dusting over
Okay.
the dude, but it's like not. So
Did I
you only
win?
get to
Did
choose one.
did I win the prize?
Sure.
Great.
Sure. Okay, so we have to do a little bit of background into this world. So the prologue explains that the world we're in, which is Earthland, which is like, if you're gonna call it Earthland,
just put a D on
why
it.
don't you just put Earth?
Hey. Oh. Just put a D on it.
Earthland.
Ding. New
Pretty much.
catchphrase.
She switched the A and the E, and that's the only.
So it's like Earth?
Earthland.
Maybe?
Earthland.
Okay.
Earthland, I don't know. So, but why even bother changing the name? Just don't. So,
Yarf.
but there are four kingdoms spread across a continent, and another kingdom that is situated between 2 islands. So, the mainland kings and the islanders worship different gods.
Okay.
The mainland worships the light god. We're just gonna call him that. Like,
Sure.
praise be the light, whatever.
Praise
which
the
is
sun.
very much like Catholicism, so...
Oh, okay.
It's very
I made a
strange.
Dark Souls reference, but I know you didn't get it,
No.
so praise the sun. Keep
Okay,
going.
so-
That's for you, listeners.
On the island, they worship the goddesses of the 2 moons. So there are 2 moons in this world, like in Star Wars.
Sure.
Sure, fine.
I mean, I am hella into goddesses of moons, so
Right.
I'm down for that.
Well, they're called Luna and Lessa, but that's like a little detail you didn't need to know.
Hey.
So anytime a child is born when the 2 moons embrace, i.e. they eclipse each other,
Right.
that child is born with supernatural powers.
Ooh.
Yeah. So on the islands, those children are protective and kind of worshipped and like loved, whatever. And they're
So here's my
all good.
question. If you are a family, and I'm assuming there is some sort of identifiable pattern to the moons, why doesn't everyone just plan it
Well, okay.
to heavily increase their odds?
Well, here's the other side.
Are the human gestational periods different?
I don't know.
Okay.
So here's the other thing: is on the mainland, on the continent, if you are born, if you are quote unquote embraced, so that's when you're born with supernatural powers, you're immediately killed.
Neat.
You're also immediately killed if you are twins, and especially if you are twin girls, because that's like supposed to be representative of the two goddesses.
That seems like a thing you wouldn't want to kill, but okay.
Yeah, but like on the mainland, they worship the sun god, and if you don't worship the sun god, you get your head chopped off.
Neat.
Yeah. So
gotta love yourself a religious-based totalitarian government.
Right.
Awesome.
So that on the mainland where the central plot takes place, the king there is a complete tyrant.
Neat.
So that's just like a little bit of dusting of what we got right now.
A mega asshole.
So yeah, So intro to the first character is our first character is Luciana. She was raised on the islands with 4 other their sisters, but like they're not biological.
Touched or whatever.
Yeah, they're embraced,
right,
and they were all dumped on the island.
Embraced sounds way better than touched.
Yeah,
keep going.
Oh, God. They're embraced. Okay. So and they were dumped on the islands because their parents didn't want them to die on the mainland.
Okay.
So, but they all grew up together. But one day, Luciana's father arrives on the island.
Okay.
And she's never met her father. He arrives with a casket, which apparently contains Luciana's sister, Tatiana, who died at sea. So her dad shows up and is like, yo, I'm your dad. And Luciana's like, great, I don't really care that much, because she's like, you abandoned me here. And he's like, no, I abandoned you here because I didn't want you to die on the mainland.
Why couldn't you have just stayed there?
So that's explained later.
Okay.
But the mom was supposed to stay with Luciana, but she died in childbirth.
Oh, great.
And Tatiana was supposed to go with the dad. So it's like Parent Trap.
Cool.
Like they separate with the 2 kids, but like it didn't work out that way. So
if this devolves into Parent Trap, I will
be
infinitely happy.
Well,
oh wait, one of them's dead. Never mind.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, sort of.
You have my interest.
Okay, so
I am intrigued.
So the father is actually kind of good dad, because he says, you know what, you're happy here, I'm just gonna leave you here. But she grows up in a convent for these 2 goddesses, and the mother of the convent is like, no, you're not gonna leave Luciana without telling her the whole truth. And Luciana's like, what whole truth? And he's like, well, if I go back to the mainland without you, then they're gonna chop off my head. Because his plan was he was gonna come to, so the tyrant king told the dad that Tatiana, the dead daughter, has to marry this beast of Benwick.
Oh my god, it is the Parent Trap, kind of! Is this a twin swapping places thing?
Yes.
Why doesn't, if they're twins, why does only one of them have powers?
Well, they both did. Then
why does the one go back to the place where they were gonna kill her?
Well, they were hiding the powers. So that's what I was gonna go into.
Why couldn't they hide
Give me a minute.
I'm
Will
sorry.
you? Will you?
So many questions.
Okay. So the twins' power was they could talk to the dead.
Neat.
Yeah. So while the dad and Luciana are having this conversation, Tatiana, the sister, is like talking to Luciana and is like, hey, I'm your sister, what up? I'm your twin. And she's like, but now I'm dead. I died at sea. So basically the tyrant king has decreed that like Tatiana has to marry this beast of Benwick. And even if Tatiana is dead, like if the dad came back to the king and said, "Whoop, my daughter's dead," like the king would still consider that treason that she didn't marry the beast of Benwick, because
that's a rational human response,
right?
Yeah,
because he didn't fulfill the order of the king. Mm-hmm. So the dad comes to the island and he's like, "I'm begging you to pretend to be your sister Tatiana and marry the beast of Benwick." So that I won't die.
Okay, this is a roller coaster.
Yes, it's already...
Damn, high octane.
Right, so... And also, the Tyrant King basically wants this girl to die. Like, let's make this very clear. He wants the dad to fail. Because if the dad fails, he gets to kill the dad, and then the king inherits all of the dad's land, because he's a duke.
Okay, so, like... I know this is not a great romance novel, but that's actually kind of a mildly interesting story. At least the way you described it.
Well, okay, I think that I'm actually describing it better than it actually is described in the book.
Okay, I believe
because
that.
it's not, because it's also like, there's also the sprinkling of, it's very confusing, because during the conversation, Tatiana keeps cutting in, and is like being very annoying, because Tatiana is really annoying. Luciana is like a very Mary Sue character, and Tatiana is very like, oh my god, like, so annoying. Like, that kind of person.
Everything in me
like,
is just...
everything's pink and sparkly and, like, not...
If you like that, fine. Everything in me is resisting the urge.
She's very surface. Let's put it like that. She's very surface level.
Everything in me is resisting the urge to reach across and punch you in the face. But I love you.
Me?
Well, because you did the voice. It's the voice.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
but if you like that, it's fine. Just, well...
That's fine.
I hope we don't meet.
So...
I love you. I would never do that.
I
had another question. Yeah.
One note I did want to make is that the Duke gets really mad at the mother, like the person who's been raising Luciana, because he's like, why does she have an island accent? As if he doesn't understand how accents work. She was raised on the island. What other accent would she have? Because the girl always says ye. Ye instead of you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's upsetting.
It's really upsetting.
So does he know that she's not the one he was supposed to marry?
No.
So then, okay, so it makes sense that he would be concerned about that, I guess?
Who? The Beast of Benwick?
Yeah. Because he thinks...
So he doesn't, like, he kind of slowly figures it out during the book, but he doesn't really care that much, because he's like, I didn't know her anyway. So, like, if she has a different name...
Yeah.
She has a different name and background, it doesn't really matter that much to him.
Okay.
And also, he's also being kind of hunted by the king, and the king wants him dead, too.
Oh.
Because he's like, he just hates him pretty much.
Homeboy, the king, is a douche canoe.
He's a douche canoe. Okay, so next we're introduced to Leo Frick, or thankfully Leo for short. Yeah.
God.
Why would you even name him Leo Frick? I don't know.
Oh, hey.
What the frick frack patty whack?
What the frick?
Yeah, so there really isn't anything to tell you about, like, the intro scene to him, other than tell you about his power, which is lightning. He controls lightning.
His power is an object.
It's so, like, basically every spring and summer when the storms roll through, the lightning just finds him. And he gets struck by lightning and he absorbs that power.
That's unfortunate. Like, that just really puts a damper on living your life, man.
Well, like, and his poor friend is, like, always trying to find ways for the lightning not to find him. He, like, puts him in dungeons. Like, he puts him in caves. And always the lightning strikes him and it just, like, destroys any building that he's in.
This is, like, some, like... I'm just imagining this Pink Panther style, like, searching stalking, or better yet, Scooby-Doo, and it's that montage where they're running in and out of doors, like being chased by lightning. That's how my mental picture of this played out.
I love it. Well, so also, though, it gives him the power of, like, he can, once he gets struck by lightning, he gets, like, super speed, super strength, like, he can shoot an arrow and it will always hit his target. It, like, translates into these other powers.
So that's weird.
It's like power 1, 2, 3, again. So, the only problem is he can't touch anyone, because if he touches someone, they get electrocuted and they die. He killed his nanny when he was 5 doing that. On accident.
Damn! Yeah. That's metal as hell!
But I want it known, and this pisses me off so much.
Please, rant, Margie. I enjoy Margie rants.
He is not a virgin, but she is. How does that make sense? What? So it's described that he has a summer where there's a drought, and so there's no storm, so therefore his power dwindles, and there's this one chick who's willing to have sex with him.
He was real thirsty that
summer. He was so thirsty. He didn't kill the woman. They had sex several times.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you know why that is. It's because a woman is only valuable
if she's a virgin.
If her virgin barrier has yet to be falcon punched through.
Oh my
God damn it!
Oh my god.
Sorry,
okay.
that was real loud and that was entirely my fault. Really? But like...
Yeah, I know. It's so frustrating because it's like you could have also had it so that like she could have been this more interesting person of like having kind of these romances on the island and like, you know, like kind of like going out and having a good time. But instead you make her this Mary Sue and then he's like this, still got to be the stud, even though you've already established in the book that it doesn't make physical sense for him to be a stud.
No.
At all.
Why can't they both be?
Well, also, yeah, that too. Why can't they both be? But like,
that would make sense. Or, I mean, have him be one and her not. God forbid
right, exactly.
shake it up for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
God, ladies,
but that really pissed me off. Like,
yeah.
she made it, the author, you didn't even have to make that a point, but the author made it a point to establish that she's a virgin and he's not.
Ladies, if you're not a virgin, well, that's okay. Sometimes we're all living in sin. That's fine.
I think everybody lives in sin somewhere.
It's
Can we
fair.
just like not? Yeah, it's just, it just really pissed me off.
Oh my god, that's
so.
I'm not even gonna get into the women's rights bit that I have to go in. I've been feeling very spicy in the feminism corner this week for some reason, so that's I'm gonna head off that rant right now.
Okay, so Leo is ordered to go and meet the girl he's scheduled to marry at a nearby castle by the king. The king is literally like, get your ass over there.
King's a great wingman, basically.
Yeah, but he's also planning to kill both of them.
Sure.
He just wants them to get married so that he can kill them, pretty much.
Oh, wait, that's not what you're supposed to do when you wingman? Oh, shit.
He's so, like, the king is trying to assassinate both of them.
Okay, well, I need to change my wingman strategy for my friends. Oops.
That explains so much. But Leo's like, nah, I'm gonna go save a nearby town from a dragon attack instead. So he does that. He goes and kills a dragon before he goes and meets his betrothed.
Why? What? So let's
because he is, I will say this, he is Lord Protector of the realm.
Okay, that's fine. But I'd like to backpedal for a second and take a literary view on this. What was the point? If things like that happen,
to establish his strength, I feel like that was the only reason.
Okay.
Like the author just wanted to see where he's a badass.
I'll accept that. I just, when shit like that happens, I like to backpedal and be like, why?
Why?
Fuck, I like to pull a Socrates and be like, fucking why?
So, but while he's doing this, he's terrified for his wife, his future wife, his betrothed then.
Oh, because she might be beheaded because
she
he's
might
not
be
there.
Well, if he's not there, but also like he knows that the king is going to be after her because the king, remember, wants her dad's land.
Okay.
So the king is sending out, Leo already knows that the king's going to send out assassins to kill this bitch.
Right.
So...
Well, so here's another... Sorry if I have a lot of questions about this. Many questions have been raised. Does the king have magical powers?
No.
Why
he's
can
not
people
embraced.
not just kill him?
That is a very valid question.
Literally shoot lightning from his fingertips. Murder that motherfucker. Okay.
Well, the other thing is that I was questioning through this whole book is like, why hasn't a coup been staged yet at some level? Because the king is seems to be the only person. The only reason that I could figure out is money. Like the king is paying these people a bunch of money to be assassins and kill this bitch and kill this guy.
I guess, but when she's that powerful, like, there was a lot wrong with that last book we read, but at least Kat was like, hey, fuck you, and murdered shit that was coming after her. Like...
Nah, this bitch just talks to the dead.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay, well...
But eventually they both make it to the castle, where they're supposed to meet. Leo, though, decides he's gonna be extra drama, and he's gonna pretend that he's not there. Like, he's gonna pretend just to be a regular soldier, basically.
Why? Again, step back. Fucking why?
Because he feels like if he goes incognito, it might be a better way to try to find the assassins that he knows are there. So
he could just shoot lightning out of his fingertips at everybody. Oh my god.
But like he's going like full Aragorn too, like he's got his hood up.
Don't you dare. Don't you ever take our Lord Aragorn's name in vain. Never. Never. No! Don't put your hood up at me. No. Why would you ever compare those two?
Well, because he's described as riding a dark horse. He's got his hood up so that you can't see his eyes, but she can quote unquote feel him looking at her. And they're already super attracted to her.
What is this? Okay, I was a little bit on board when you're first describing the plot, I was like, this doesn't sound that bad. Maybe
No,
it's not gonna be that bad.
It is that bad.
What is this writing? What is this story?
I want you to know that he, like, watches her broodingly 3 times before he actually meets her in person. And when he meets her in person, he doesn't tell her that he's her betrothed. Okay.
Why? Oh my, no, I need a hot second.
Okay,
Oh my
okay,
God.
okay, you need to recover. Leo, what the frick, frack, patty whack?
What? No! His name is no Leah Fuck. Because what the fuck, Leah Fuck?
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing so
Oh
hard, my
my
stomach hurts.
God, what the? Oh my, like, I don't know.
He's like kind of, yeah, he also, I think, like, wants her not to know who he is. I think it's kind of like he wants, like, a power move over her. And he's watching her.
Why?
And he's watching her, and he's, like, finding out really weird shit. Like, she talks to herself. Well, she's talking to the dead. You know, she's talking to her sister and, like, other dead people who are in the palace.
Actual question. How much does he know about her? Nothing?
He knows about Tatiana, because that's who he's supposed to marry. He doesn't know anything about Luciana,
Well,
though.
so did Tatiana have different powers?
Tatiana had the same powers. But, like, Luciana and Tatiana's personalities were very different.
Okay.
Tatiana was very Barbie.
Well, but he knows that she has powers.
No, he does not. Because
Okay.
remember, in the kingdom, if you're embraced, you get killed. The only reason Leo hasn't been killed yet, which is never really fully explained, I'm assuming...
It's because he can murder anyone
Right.
at any point, because, like, he fucking should have?
Right, exactly. Whereas her powers are just talking to the dead, so, like, she can't defend herself. If somebody comes up and says, like, hey, you're embraced, I'm gonna fucking cut off your head.
You mentioned there was a lightning-themed science corner,
Oh, yeah.
and...
Oh, but we haven't even gotten there yet.
No, but you don't know how excited I am for this shit.
Oh my god. Okay, so...
You don't know.
So, Leo keeps a very low profile, but, like, over time, he just slowly adds more and more guards around her because he's convinced that she's, like, in danger all the time. So, when Luciana gets to gets to this castle, and remember, the king is not at I want it known that the king is not at this castle. This is where he ordered Luciana and Leo Frick to meet up.
That's hella sketchy. I hope they were riding there, and the dude's like, you know this is a trap, right? Yeah, probably. Okay.
Well, that's pretty much Leo's whole... That's kind of why he's trying to stay
That's why
incognito.
he's besmirching the name of our Lord and Savior, Aragorn.
Right, yeah, because
okay.
he's trying to be, like... He's trying to keep it on the DL that he's there,
right.
basically. Because he doesn't want more danger, and he's trying to figure out who these assassins are.
Sure.
So during this time, Luciana has been trying to go to another tower in the castle, because it's the tower that her mother died in, and Luciana's trying to get to talk to her mom. Because her mom's a ghost. So,
aren't ghosts,
so she falls...
trapped in one spot?
Not really in this book, because Tatiana's been following Luciana everywhere.
That's gonna make sex awkward. Yeah.
Also, there's ghost sex in this book, but we literally don't have time to get into it.
You can't just leave that!
I'm leaving it there. I'm leaving it. Okay. Well, there's a ghost sex. There's ghost hookup.
Will you please put that in the show notes? Because I
Yes.
I have a medical need to know.
Yes.
Okay, great.
If we have time, I'll get into it. So, like, one night, though, she goes to this other tower, and she falls asleep there. And she wakes back up, and she goes back to her room where she had kind of, like, created one of those, like, fake bed things with, like, or fake body things with the pillows, you know?
Sure.
Like they do in the movies. And she sees that a sword has been stabbed through it.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's assassination attempt number 1.
Are we keeping track?
Yes, we are.
Yay! Oh,
yes.
good!
Yes. So the next night, Leo has her move to the other tower so that he can put, like, a bazillion guards around her. But he's also, yeah.
So, there's a dude who's making her move to all these places and having a bunch of guards around her that says he's, like, just a guard and not, like, not this dude she's supposed to marry?
Well, Leo is doing this through her dad. So Leo is telling her dad to do these things. But I can't remember if her dad actually knows that Leo is there or, like...
Okay.
I don't think that he does. I think that he's, like, Leo's kind of doing these underground ways of, like, making these things happen.
Sure, because why not?
Sketchy. Why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not?
So This is one of my favorite parts. Like I said before, Leo during this book has been slowly adding more and more guards around her because he's really getting paranoid. And kind of for good reason. Like, she's already been almost assassinated once.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he's like puts all of these guards around this tower. But then he's like, nah, I want to see her.
Has he not seen her? No, he's creeped on her. That's right.
He's creeped on her. He's been stalking her. So instead of just telling the guards who he is and going in and seeing her, he decides to fight his way up there. So he climbs the outside of the tower where she is, beats up the many guards he has posted outside her door, and then, like, breaks into her room.
Oh, no, hold. My brain's catching up. I'm gonna leave this with a very solid, resounding what the fuck, and we can move on.
Okay.
Leah fuck, come on.
So then Luciana is like, fuck, this assassin is actually going to kill me because he broke into the room, and she doesn't know who this guy is. And so our homegirl grabs a candelabra and is like, I'm gonna murder this bastard in the tower with a candelabra. Do you like my clue?
Oh my
yeah. But
God,
Leo catches her almost immediately when she walks in and takes one look and is like, oh, no way, this bitch would kill me. And just kind of like strolls around the room making small talk. And one of the first things out of his mouth is, I came to make sure your room is secure. As if he didn't just beat up all of her guards that he had posted out there. And he's
words.
He's so dissatisfied with her guards too because he managed to beat them up as if he doesn't have superpowers.
Also, he can't touch anyone or he'd kill them.
He has gloves on. He's like thick leather gloves on that he wears all the time.
That's not how electricity works.
Oh my god.
Okay, hold on. So you know how in the first book ever, guys, go back and listen to the first episode, it's great. You gave me a warning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't get one.
You a warning.
I'm not mentally prepared for this bullshit. No,
sorry.
I've lost it. It is in the middle of the goddamn Atlantic, and I'm never gonna get that raft back. I am on Mars without potatoes.
I'm so sorry. Go back to the first episode, guys.
Oh my god, have you ever just been so upset by something that you shouldn't be, that you can't form a coherent
Well, we're not even
phrase?
done yet. We're not even at the part where you should be really upset. We're not there yet.
Okay, I'm mentally prepared now. I'm slow. I will mentally prepare myself for worse.
Sure you are. Okay.
No, I'm not.
So he keeps going around her. I just love the fact that, like, he's super pissed at these guards for not being good enough when he beat them up with his superpowers.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he keeps going around her room, like, finding little things wrong with the security, like he's employed by ADT.
I had some tea in my mouth when you said that.
But he still has not told her that he's the person that's supposed to marry her. And he doesn't. So to end the awkward...
To be fair, I would not want to marry a person who did that.
Yeah, me neither. So to end the awkward ADT small talk, homeboy jumps out the window before more guards arrive.
Okay, bye.
Fuck
boy, I'm out.
Fuck boy, I'm out. But not, of course, she's already like, oh my god, I'm so horny. She's into it.
Why? Okay. Sometimes B&E is a kink that some people have. That's fine if you're doing it with a partner that agrees, that's totally into it, and you have set up safety nets and everything, and that's totally cool. What?
You're so bad at this book.
I am furious. Your shit-eating giggle is, like, not helping. I love it, but it's not helping. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm being so loud.
Okay, so we had to move on. Guess what? It's time for Choose Your Own Adventure part.
Okay. I'm gonna try really hard. I'm gonna back up so I don't, like, get really loud.
Yeah, so you don't murder anyone with your sound.
Sorry.
Okay, don't worry. As if I'm not guilty of that. Give me a break. So a couple of times in this book, so before Luciana left the island, she made a pact with her sisters that they would get letters back and forth to one another, right?
Okay.
So, but you know, it's like, she's pretending to be Tatiana. She doesn't know anyone on that island, technically, like she's not supposed to. Mm-hmm. So, in order to do this, her sisters and her agree, okay, at dawn, Luciana has to go wade out into the ocean, like, pick up a glass bottle that's gonna be left by the seals. You with me so far?
Nope, keep going.
And then wade back to the shore. And then the letter will be in the glass bottle that the seals have left her.
1, that's not suspicious. Not at all. 2, please tell me, and I will be on board if this is the case, that one of her sister's abilities is to talk to animals.
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay,
yes.
I'm okay with that,
yes.
surprisingly.
Yes. Okay, so, yeah. So that's your choose your own adventure bit.
Great.
So, like, twice this happens. And, like, the homeboy gets so mad because he doesn't stop her from doing it, which I'm kind of like, okay, well, you know, at least give her a freedom, I guess. But he's also, like, stalks her while she's doing it. And she comes up with the most ridiculous lies. She's like, no, I want to go swimming at dawn because it'll be bracing. And her guards are like, what?
Those are some shitty guards. He has
Right.
reason to not trust them.
Oh, there's one of her guards. Totally useless.
Awesome.
It's really funny. So
I feel like you need to videotape my reaction to when this does get really bad. Just to put in the show notes.
that's a good idea.
Just, like...
Okay. So over the beginning of this book, a man has been pursuing. That's what we're doing, producing a podcast. Pursuing Luciana, thinking that she's Tatiana. His name is Bougere.
Okay. Bougie.
But literally everyone in this book calls him Captain Booger.
Captain what?
Booger.
Yeah.
So he finally corners Luciana and demands her love and is like trying to kiss her, and Luciana's like, no, get away from me, get away from me, get away
Homeboy's
from
gonna
me.
come in and deck the fuck out of him.
Yep, exactly. So Homeboy has none of this. He grabs Lord Booger and rips him off Luciana, and then finally tells Luciana who he is, like thinking it's gonna be like this big dramatic reveal, and she's pissed.
Good!
Yeah, she's pissed. She's like, she kind of gives him hell for it. She's like, how dare you? Like, I've seen you. Why didn't you just tell me who you were? That would have made things so much better. We would have been on equal footing.
This is the first time in this entire fucking book we've had a rational human reaction to something.
Okay, but Homeboy also challenges Lord Booger to a duel over Luciana, which I want to emphasize is completely pointless because, like,
she's
Homeboy,
betrothed to him.
She's betrothed to Lord Leofric or whatever. Leofuck. So, it doesn't matter who wins, but they duel. But
also, one of them has superpowers. How do you think that's gonna go?
Well, so it's agreed that he's not gonna use the lightning powers.
Okay.
So, but it's also revealed the next day, though, that Leo wants to have this duel to get everyone in the castle to the same place so he can have his dog sniff out who the assassin was that tried to kill Luciana.
Can we just have the entire, like, a background track of ba-dum, ba-dum,
Ba-dum,
ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. That's basically what this is.
Pretty much. So which they do. Leo wins the fight, and Captain Booger is banished, and they find the assassin. And the assassin they've caught spills the beans that there are at least 2 more assassins in the castle, and they're both going after Luciana.
There has been no touching up to this point, has there?
No.
Cool.
No. There's no sex, I don't think, until, like, at least, like, I think past 60% of this book.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So the next day, Luciana is working in the gardens, surrounded by 3 guards. But, like, she's in the open, which Homeboy is very unhappy about. So he goes running to, like, go, like, get her out of the open. Like, you can't be in the garden. And it's actually a good idea because she's almost hit with an arrow.
Neat.
So that's assassination attempt number
2!
So I want to emphasize in this book that, like, while all this is happening, there is definitely, like, sparks and chemistry happening between these 2 characters. It's not very, like, it's very forced. It's not organic because there's no personality with either of these characters. But, I'm not bitter. But so he decides to have lunch with her one day in her tower, just the 2 of them.
How romantic.
Of course, she drops a grape. Of course, it lands in Homeboy's lap. Of course, she grabs it.
Did she throw it? How do you drop something across a table into a dude's lap?
Touching his dick through his clothes. But he's so shocked that she can touch him. And she pulls her hand back immediately. Because
No. He was wearing gloves, and he could touch people with gloves on, and was he without pants? Was he wearing through these super well insulated leather, it would have been fine anyway.
So,
This isn't a butthole. This is the Grand Goddamn Canyon.
so he's shocked that she isn't shocked.
Shocked.
Yeah, so he's shocked that she doesn't get shocked. And he's like, what the heck happened? So he literally grabs her hand again and puts it on his dick. And Rachel, look at me. Rachel, I need you to look at me for this next bit. And he says, are you feeling anything? And I shit you not, her response is, there's something hard in your breeches, and I think it's moving.
I hate this. I hate my life. Life is suffering. I don't. No, this is not a thing that someone wrote on paper and published.
Yes.
No.
Dead trees.
No. This global warming is not worth this. What have we done?
What have we created?
What has humanity done?
Okay, so thank God they're interrupted to be told to, like, for something. I don't know. And so later on we come to assassination attempt number 3! Death by poison in bowls of soup. At this point, Luciana's father is like, fuck this, I'm out. His,
Again, secondary countdown for me, second normal human response in this book.
Well, actually, though, his response to the response is not good.
Oh.
So he's like, his idea is, because they're supposed to be married anyway, remember, is that, I'm signing everything over to Leo. And then you and Leo are gonna get married. And so once that but here's the thing, once that happened, all of the assassination attempts against Luciana and the Duke are gonna end, because even if the king,
Leo.
right, exactly, they're gonna go after Leo, and nobody can kill Leo. Like, people know that they can't kill Leo.
That's some sort of logical thought.
Sort of, but it's
Kind of.
also like, here you go, honey, go and marry this dude, hurry up.
You're a woman, you don't need property.
Right,
You can
also,
have
and
it.
also the ghost of Luciana's mother is there at that point, and she's totally pushing her daughter at this dude too. Even beyond the grave, her mom is like, no bueno.
I can't decide what's worse.
Thank you, next.
Ghost mom wingman? Poseidon wingman.
Oh
Poseidon
my
dad
God.
wingman. What is worse? Guys, we want to hear from you. I need to know. Ghost mom
that's-
wingman? Poseidon dad wingman. It's very important to me.
Yeah. Well, mom does help out a little bit later.
Okay.
So over the next few days, Leo and Luciana see each other more, get closer and closer, and there are no assassination attempts. So they're like, maybe we're good now. Maybe, like, it's all in the past. But what's a romance novel without a quick kidnap, I ask you?
Oh, God. Listeners, I want you to put a peg in this moment and come back next week. Keep going.
Okay. So she's chloroformed and taken down to a catacomb that's also apparently in this castle that is filled with bones.
Can we have an impromptu science corner? Chloroform does not take you out that quickly. Okay.
Thank you. So, this assassin, so this is an assassin, is like your bait for the 1 billion arrows that I'm gonna have hit your husband. So, like, the husband's gonna come running. The arrows are gonna be released at Leo. Like, that's the idea. And it's very, like nefarious, like, mustache twirling, like...
Because when I want to kill someone that's difficult to kill, Rube Goldberg machines are the best option.
Yeah, so he's like, your bait, good luck with that, bye, and he, like, pieces out. He's not even gonna bother to make sure that this guy gets dead.
That is the most you caught me monologuing bullshit. The Incredibles had it right, okay?
It's like Austin Powers, too. Remember the first...
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you're not even gonna make sure that this actually works. There's only one guard. This chick doesn't even have a guard there. Like, there's nobody to confirm that this happens or that she stays put.
We need to take pictures of my facial expressions. Because I'm sorry guys, I fully realize this is an audio medium, but my brain and my mouth are not connecting because I'm so Yeah, words.
So
We can't
here we
words.
go. This is the part. This is the part that I've been waiting to tell you. So, but of course, there's a big reunion. Leo finds her. He saves her. She saves him. Hooray. Actually, though, it's Luciana's mother, Ariana. And please imagine Ariana Grande.
Done. Done.
With that hair, that gorgeous.
Hell yeah.
I love it. She saves Luciana. Ariana Grande obviously is a ghost. And Ariana Grande reveals.
Ariana Grande is obviously a ghost. Tweet.
Thank you. Next. Ariana Grande reveals that when she was pregnant and sitting in the tower, a lightning bolt came through the sky into the tower and electrocuted her while she was pregnant with Luciana and Tatiana. Which makes Luciana and Tatiana immune to lightning. Wait until the anti-vaxxers hear about this. Shock in utero can protect you from lightning. Who knew? Those are my notes on that.
No!
How do you feel about shock in utero, Rachel? How do you feel about it?
What the actual fuck?
Can you explain electricity to us? To our listeners.
I weep for humanity. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Okay, so, oh wait, I gotta pull up. So, everyone, I want you to know that, Rachel's sister is,
A forensic
And-
toxicologist. Her degree is
Yes.
biology.
And her name is Sarah. And so
Sarah's great. Hi, Sarah. She listens.
I had never talked to Sarah before. Hi,
Yep.
Sarah. Thank you so much for your help. So I texted her and I said, a character in this book is struck by lightning while pregnant with twins. Later on in the book, it is revealed that the twins are immune to lightning. Now, being a biology expert, can you please tell me if it is possible to be immune to lightning? And she responded, hi. And I would definitely say no, because it's essentially just electric current. And then I should probably explain my train of thought for the electricity. Your body has to produce currents in order to achieve muscle movement and production. It's a necessity of life, so immunity to that would more or less be a death sentence.
Oh my god. When do I get to Science Corner?
Now, please.
Oh, thank God,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Welcome to Rachel's Science Corner. Hi, everybody. I'm a fucking electrical engineer, god damn it. Okay. No, okay. That is like, here, I'm gonna paint an analogy. When my mom was pregnant with me, she got in a bathtub and fell asleep.
Oh, no.
And she took in a lot of water, but she survived. That's okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm immune to drowning. Same thing. None of that happened. I'm fine. My mom's great. But it's a physical phenomenon. You cannot
be immune
to a physical... So the way your body fights off infection is you are exposed to something, your body creates antibodies, and the next time you are exposed to that thing, one of two things happens. Either your body fights off that thing with antibodies, or your body made the wrong antibodies and you're allergic to it. That's why you never have an allergic reaction unless you have had something the second time. Fun fact of the day.
Huh.
You can't make antibodies to electricity because it's electricity. Electricity is the movement of electrons across atoms. So atoms are constantly moving electrons from one to the other. So when you flick on a light switch, what's actually happening is all of those atoms are passing electrons from one to the other. That's an electron, part of an atom that makes up your body. I hope to God you don't have antibodies against fucking electrons, because you would not exist. You would be a black hole. No, sorry, black holes are made up of matter. You would literally be a void. I feel better now. Continue.
Okay.
Sorry,
man.
I just needed to rant about science. There's so much more I could say, but science is a beautiful mistress that will never let me down. Thank you, science.
This book did. Oh boy. Oh mama. And it's in the writer in me gets really mad at this book later in a little bit of time.
The scientist in me wants to. I'm so mad.
So
Jesus fuck.
I wanted to say they find. So he's like Leo's all excited because she's immune to lightning. Whatever. Okay. Whatever.
I know. But every
Whatever.
time you say that phrase, my eyes roll into the sunset.
Yeah. So like she's not getting electric shocks by him. Let's just say it that way.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. And so they can have sex. So he's thrilled with that. He's like, awesome.
Sure he is.
Yeah.
Fun fact, kids, it's only electrocution if you die.
Yeah.
Otherwise you just got shocked.
So they have a great week of just having sex. I am disappointed that there is no lightning in this sex. Like he doesn't do any tricks.
Aww. Damn.
Yeah.
Would have gotten my juices going. That was an electricity joke. Sorry.
So the king is like, okay, come on, time to come to the castle and actually meet me now that you're like a newlywed couple. On the journey, one of the guards betray them, but in the end, they finally catch the third assassin. Hooray!
Was having sex the equivalent of a marriage ceremony? Because that's gonna be awkward for all the guests.
What do you mean?
Did they ever actually get married?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, it wasn't just a week of them doing it.
It was that thing of like, it was basically like a quickie wedding. So like they got
Okay.
married and there were 2 witnesses and then they were like, okay.
I was gonna say, good, because if sex was the equivalent of
There
marriage
is
in
that-
this world, then
There is this
having a witness would
weird
suck.
part of the book though where like they get married and they still think they can't touch. So like they get married but
they can't kiss.
they can't have sex. They
Or
can't do
sex.
anything. So it's not consummated. Like,
I mean, not that that matters, but
No,
at the
but
same
it's-
time,
yeah, it's just strange. She's upset with that too.
we'll
And
just,
obviously
we'll
so
just
is he.
add it to our canyon of plot holes, and
So
it's fine.
well, so this is where the writer in me starts to get a little pissed. So
Only now?
Only now. Well, like this whole book. Let me just.
Okay,
This is
that's
just
fine, I get
annoying.
it.
So now this is where the book is weird because there's, there is a villain in this book and it's the king, but he's kind of like a far off villain.
Right.
And he's sent these 3 assassins, and now these 3 assassins are gone. Like the problem has been taken care of.
So they're all killed.
They're all killed, yeah.
Okay.
And so the author is kind of like, well, what do I do now? How do I propel the plot? So she comes up with, we're at 86% into the book, and they meet the new villain.
What? What?
This villain is basically Mystique from X-Men, where he or she can take on the appearance of anyone.
What?
Yeah. This villain is given no name. There's no description behind who he or she is. There's nothing. No backbone structure at all.
The table in which our microphones are standing are becoming the only solid thing that is holding me to this ground plane of reality.
So, this Mystique character kills the prince.
The prince, not homeboy.
Not homeboy,
Okay.
the prince. And pretends to be the prince. So, like, he hides the body and takes on the appearance of the prince, right?
Okay.
Leo figures this out, and...
How? Okay.
Oh,
I'll accept
it's because Luciana and Tatiana are talking, and Tatiana is like, hey girl, like, you do realize the prince is dead, right? And Luciana's like, the prince is right here, and Tatiana's like, nope, he's dead. Like, here's this ghost.
I was gonna say, she can see ghosts. So
Right,
it makes
so
sense.
she figures it out. Luciana figures it out really
He
quick.
knows about her powers at this point,
Yes,
right?
he does.
Okay.
He does. So he kind of like slowly, like, there are a lot of things in this book that, like, as you can see, I could not. There's so many broken pieces of this book that I just couldn't include
This
everything.
physically hurts me.
Right.
If we didn't have very expensive recording equipment on this table, I would have flipped it about 30 minutes ago.
So,
Oh, God.
so they, unfortunately though, after the prince is killed, this Mystique character gets away. And they're like, fuck, now there's this person who can pretend to be anyone running around. But they manage to get to the castle where the king is. And Leo figures out that the king has been Mystiqued. So, like, Mystique has taken over the king and the king is actually dead. Okay?
I feel
You
like
with me?
she should have been the one to figure that out. But I get that.
Yeah, okay. So he figures it out. Leo kills Mystique, this Mystique character that we never figure out who they is, what their intentions are, anything, any of that. You know, any of that villain backbone structure that you need in a book.
Okay.
Just dead. He's dead.
Sure.
Sure, fine.
You know what? That's the most believable thing in this book so far.
Yeah. So, since he's Lord Protector of the Realm and the Duke, you know,
Does he
the
now
Duke,
become the king?
He is now the king. She is now the queen. She's pregnant. They live happily ever after. The end.
I'm so dissatisfied.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I got to that new villain part and I was like, what the actual fuck?
I'm so upset.
Yeah.
You've reduced me to... I don't even know. I am a shell of a human. That was published on... Trees died for that.
Yeah, I know.
Money has been exchanged for that.
People paid for this. Like, I got this through the library. People bought and paid this book.
What?
And I also want to know what really pisses me off about this book.
What was the Goodreads rating?
Is that, yeah, it's 4.04. And all of the reviews were good. Here she goes again. She's going into the corner.
Humanity, you have forsaken me. I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
Oh my god.
I try so hard to be an optimist about the human race. I feel like you've removed a core essence to my personality. I have lost so much faith.
Rachel, you have to get back to the mic, baby.
I'm coming.
Yeah, you have to come back. Come on.
I need alcohol.
Oh my god.
I need whiskey.
Yeah, we do. We do. We really need a drink after this one.
I'm so sad.
Yes. So, but they also in the kingdom they make it so that if you're embraced, like you're not gonna be murdered, and you can worship whoever you want.
So reform. Great.
So reform.
Because really fast, abrupt change definitely goes well for every single kingdom. Can you hear the sarcasm? I hope so. Okay, so I don't really know where to start with reviewing on this one, so I'm gonna let you take the lead.
Yeah, I've actually wrote down once this, and my first thing is, and I quote, "This book plot-wise was a hot mess."
Yeah.
Like, there really wasn't a plot.
No.
And if we're gonna go by, like, the notes that we took on our last... So we mentioned in the last episode that we were gonna start our book del.
Right, the book del test.
Yes, the book del test, which was like...
so proud of that
name.
name.
A character, they have to build each other up.
Yes.
And I said that they have to each have their own separate, like, motivators.
Right.
And they have to... And I think I came up with a third one, which is, like, they have to be... like either better or worse at the end of the novel. They can't be the same people that they started with.
There has to be some amount of
There has to be some sort of change. This fulfilled none of those criteria.
No.
None of those. Because they do not build each other up. If anything, they keep each other on the same plane. Like, it's weird because, like, together they become, like, 75% of one decent character.
One human.
Of one human. Like, because she is such a Mary Sue throughout this whole book. And it's really painful. It's just...
God.
She has really... no personality besides the fact that she loves her sisters.
Great.
And she can talk to the dead.
We should, because I feel like I felt a little bit weird about this for the last episode. What would you define as a Mary Sue? Because I feel like I didn't use it correctly. Yeah. I want to make sure that I think you're using it correctly. I don't think I was. So sorry, guys.
The way that I first heard it described is it's a very like Bella Swan from Twilight type of character where you can literally put anyone into that role. Like they're you can put like
in my mind
you can place yourself into the character.
In my mind, it is the author writing themselves into a character and making them ridiculous. Like
making them ridiculous, but also kind of making them flat so that the person who's reading it can self-insert themselves into what's happening.
Okay,
so she has very like she has reactions that that aren't that interesting because it's like anybody would do that.
Right. Yeah, so I always thought of it as like a super overpowered, super like I'm the best ever. Like, just like an untouchable character, essentially.
I felt like I feel like it's the other way around.
You're probably right. Listeners, please tell us what you think.
Yes,
I'm probably
please
wrong.
Tell us what you think. A Mary Sue in my book is that somebody who's very a self-insert.
Okay.
So, like, I always imagine Bella Swan from Twilight.
That's a very good...
analogy. Like, she's just very, like, she kind of just, like, floats along. And here's another way of putting it. Everything in the plot happens to her. She doesn't do anything to propel the plot herself. That's really good.
Okay. Yes. Then I'd like to put my formal apology now. Kat was not a Mary Sue.
No,
she had personality in spades. Yes, she was hella overpowered, though.
Yes.
I'll take that.
So that's the opposite spectrum. That's more kind of like a almost on the other end of that spectrum is like Katniss Everdeen, where like she is like completely like pushing the plot
does
forward. Does everything to put the plot forward. Which honestly I would prefer that over this Mary Sue type of character where like everything is happening to her. Because that's not how life works.
Right.
You know? So everything.
So formal apology. Sorry guys. Roast me on the interwebs.
they're not, so neither of these characters really lift each other up. They keep each other kind of at the level of meh average. There's no trying to make themselves better, just not electrocuted.
Oh,
That's
God.
really it. Like, they,
There's
yeah.
nothing.
And and like I said, there's no, like, change between them from the beginning to the end of the book, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like it may just be because it is a book in a series. It's not necessarily, you know, but it's like, technically this is a standalone novel because we're not going to really hear as much from these characters
Is this the
again.
first one in that series?
This is the first one in that series.
Okay, so there's no chance of the Mystique character ever even being talked about before.
No. The only thing we know about this Mystique character is that they're embraced. That's it.
Okay.
They're an evil embraced person. That's the only thing that we know about them.
Maybe, my only guess is that it was a chance to show that there are evil embraced people.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really know. So, like, at the end of the book, it's kind of inferenced that, like, her 4 sisters are also, like, princesses or something in these other kingdoms.
Great.
Yeah, so...
Special snowstorms.
All of them.
This actually is a special snowstorm because it's 5 special snowflakes.
Yeah.
And God knows, science says you only need 5 snowflakes to make a snowstorm.
So, oh, I also had one note that now I'm laughing at it, is this book probably took about 45 minutes to write.
Did it take longer than that to read?
Yes.
It was a travesty.
Oh my god. It was... And it just wasn't written well either.
Yeah.
Like, the way that she... Oh, I wish I had it with me. I wish I had my Kindle with me. Because, like, the way that the author described the different accents was by pretty much making Luciana say ye instead of you.
Yeet.
Eat.
No.
Yeet!
No. Yep. So, okay, I am putting out a call to my listeners, our listeners.
Yes, please.
I need you to restore my faith in humanity because I'm actually legitimately so sad about this
Yeah,
book.
actually,
It
if you
hurts
could
me.
send us good books.
Good books?
Please.
I do have one in the works that you might have actually already read, but I haven't yet.
Okay.
So I'm like really excited. And it's a good book.
Okay.
So
Good.
I have one of those in the works.
Thank God. Because I personally thought this was a little bit better than The Nymph King just because there was no rape. That is a low bar.
that did nothing to make me feel better about humanity.
Nope,
No.
it doesn't. It just made this book a little bit more palatable.
So good books to save our faith in humanity. Also, pictures of kittens. I would take either.
Yeah. I would love, please tag us in pictures of kittens, please.
So, okay, so official ratings on
1.
Leah Fuck.
Across the board.
Okay.
Just 1. I mean, if we have to give them anything, I would give Leo a 1, Mary Sue, excuse me, Luciana. A 1, and the plot a 1. Because it's all horrible, and I hate it so much.
This got worse ratings.
Oh, and remember, there is ghost sex in this book.
Oh, no. No, I don't. Why? I don't want to remember that. I didn't know. That was something that could not go into my brain.
That'll be in the show notes.
No, don't put pictures of ghost sex in the
I'm
show
not gonna
notes.
put it in the pictures of ghost sex. How would you even... Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, so, thanks for listening in, guys.
Well, hold on.
Yes. Oh, yeah, please ask me.
Okay, so I... personally, just in the last hour of being told about this novel, cannot fathom anything else ever. So I'm gonna need you to tell me what you read when you also couldn't fathom anything else ever.
I've actually been reading a lot of stuff lately, which is great. So I finished that book called The Hazelwood.
Oh, yeah.
And I did really like it.
Good.
It was a refreshing take on, like, the teen drama novel.
Okay, I am a big young adult fiction. It's great.
We both are. So it was a good read. It was fun. Yeah, I liked that one. I also read this book called, what was it? The Darkest Minds.
Okay.
Which is like this new one. It's getting a movie. It's like also, it's teen dystopian angst drama book.
Neat.
And the character also was very much a Mary Sue. However, in defense of the book, I did order the second one from the library.
Okay, all right.
So it had
a plot.
It does have a plot.
That isn't just a giant hole.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
At least you had an escape.
So that's...
I'm glad you had a way out.
So yeah, to get back, I think now I actually have this book about Mao Zedong that it's this really thick history.
That sounds
book.
exactly like it would trigger all of my anxiety.
I'm really excited to read it.
Good.
So I think I'm going to read
Don't
that
tell me
next.
about it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, anxiety's a bitch, y'all, and I happen to know what my triggers are.
Politics
is one of them.
I've had really bad anxiety over the past week too, so
Yep.
I've cut caffeine because I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Mental health, y'all. Stay strong.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. So, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. We have a special announcement.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of a special announcement. I don't know, it's special, but special
This
to me.
is gonna come out next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to do, as our holiday present to you, we're gonna do a Christmas themed special,
And it's gonna be released on Christmas Day. So that's our
happy
special gift
holidays.
to you. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
And Yule.
and Yule,
Yeah.
and
whatever
Festivus.
and Festivus, whatever you choose to celebrate.
Yes.
We accept you all and we love you all.
So please rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes, anything you guys can do. If you guys want to get on your podcatcher of choice,
Yes.
and give us a 5-star review, that would be
Fabulous.
super helpful. It would be wonderful. And if you want to hit us up on Twitter, Margie, go.
Yeah, we are
Twitter.
at T Tension Pod,
Instagram,
Textual Tension Pod.
Facebook, don't have one
We
yet.
don't have one.
Goodreads,
Textual Tension.
Gmail.
TextualTensionPod@gmail.com.
You passed your test.
Oh, and also we have a website, and you can also
that.
listen to all of our episodes there. It's textualtensionpod.com.
Mm-hmm.
We will also have our show notes there, and those go a little bit more in depth about like ghost sex.
God. And the other part of the Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes.
And just sort of more of our thoughts as we're reading it. So I found it actually is super helpful because, guys, I listen to these a lot when I'm editing them. To have show notes up while I'm listening, and it adds a little bit extra.
And it's also like there are things that we don't catch when we're reading it the first time,
Right.
and we want to put it into the show notes. I actually added a couple other extra lines to your show notes
Great,
for the last
good.
episode. So.
I'm still really upset that I
Oh.
didn't get the whole Cat and Griffin thing.
There is one thing that I wanted to mention about this book,
no.
is that it takes place way over 7 days.
I was gonna
Which
ask
really
about
pisses
that.
me off. Like they
Oh,
meet,
no.
like the I think the time period between when they meet and when they get married is 7 days, but that's really it. Like that's
When they
only-
meet, or when she finds out who he is meet.
I think when they first see each other. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, your the light in your eyes just died.
So did my soul.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sad. Don't drink your feelings. On that note, I'm gonna go drink my feelings.
Yeah, go. We need to. We've earned it.
Jesus Christ.
Like it's medicinal at this point.
It's so bad. All right. Well,
yeah. Rate, review, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time, and
we'll actually see you guys next week for a Christmas special. Yeah. So we'll see you next week, and then a week after that, because we're not gonna mess up our normal schedule just for Christmas. We're that cool.
We got you guys.
Yo.
Oh, and thank you to Ayla Nerio for our song.
Yeah. Oh, Love off the album Beheld.
Yes.
Hey, we remember that too. All right.
thank
cool.
you.
Now for realsies, we love you all. Bye.
Goodbye.